Today in the EU, ups and downs of the digital state in the era of hybrid warfare. Remote internet voting, fully online public services, and digital IDs are a reality in Estonia, the second most digitalized country in the world. But as geopolitical tensions move online, the technological advancements the country has implemented make it a target for cyber interference from Moscow. How has Estonia built its tech-driven society, and how is the country helping its neighbours fend off digital threats? I'm your host, Giada Santana, and this is Today in the EU. I'm joined in the studio by Liisa Pakosta, Justice and Digital Affairs Minister of Estonia. Hello, Liisa.
Hello, everybody.
So you have a peculiar mandate as Minister of Justice and Digital Affairs. How do you combine the two remits?
We want to protect our basic rights, our basic values. So the idea behind these two together is that we still would have innovation we need for good services, for safe services, but at the same time, in the way that all our data is protected or our basic rights and values are protected. This is really a challenge, how to do this so that we do not over-regulate, but we innovate and allow better services to people.
Mm-hmm. And this attention to digital services definitely speaks to the success of your country when it comes to going digital. Estonia's e-government is the second in the world according to UN ranking. What are the drivers behind the country's digital transition, and what does having a fully digital state look like? Especially as an Italian, I can't possibly conceive that.
Yeah, let's start from the very beginning. So when a baby is born, the very next moment, the baby gets digital ID. And already the parents get family subsidies. Already the child gets family doctor. So everything, all the services are already very smoothly linked to this baby and to this family. So the parents do not have to make extra applications to apply to any support or services. Everything is already done. So the idea behind that 100% of our government services are digital within the Estonian territory is that people are freed from democracy and they can use their time instead of sending applications to government officials. They can use their time for family. They can use their time for preparing for Christmas, for example.
And speaking about the drivers, how did this come about? I mean, Estonia is a relatively young country, gaining independence in 1991.
Yeah, we regained actually our independence. So we started from 1918 as an independent country. But after Russian occupation, really, we wanted to do everything differently from the Russian occupation. So we wanted to get free of corruption. So how do you get free of corruption? You have to make everything transparent. How to make everything transparent? The easiest way is to make everything digital. So if everything is digital, then everybody can check every move, and you can also check everybody who has looked at your data. Let's say you have a paper file at your doctor. You never know who looked at this paper file with your data. But if your data are in a digital file, you can see exactly what persons have looked at your data. It's very easily accessible via a mobile phone app. And you can see, okay, this looks suspicious. And it's very easy to ask, did this person had a legal ground to look at my data? Uh-huh. And if it wasn't there, the person loses his or her job. So it's extremely high trust behind this digital Estonia.
And according to experts, having a fully digitalized state can help develop public services, which could be an easy way for countries looking for EU accession to meet their targets. This theory is called digital enlargement. What's your take on it?
Absolutely. So, for example, we have very good cooperation with Ukraine. We have a very good cooperation both on cybersecurity, but also on how to give even better citizen-oriented digital services. In the situation of full-scale war, Ukraine has found possibilities to offer digital marriage because it might not be physically possible to offer it. So we did the same. We learned from them. At the same time, Ukraine has learned from us, from Estonia, how to build a very secure architecture under all these government services. It is, by the way, scalable. You said you are from Italy. So if Italy wants, it's scalable to Italy because the digital services from the state in Estonia and also in Ukraine have not been cyber attacked in a dangerous way. So because it's built up from the very beginning in an extremely secure way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because I'm interested also in the risks that having a fully digital state can come with. I want to speak to your experience as an Estonian. Your country has been at the center of Russian interference, and your defense services just last year defined Russia as the greatest security threat to Estonia. So doesn't having a fully digital state also expose you to more hybrid threats, which we've seen are a concrete danger in this war?
I would say that the papers are always under the same threat because you can steal the papers, you can move the papers. Cybersecurity has been our hygiene. So Estonia was the first entire nation in 2007 getting the cyber attack from Russia. I would say this was also an attack against Europe. Before that already, but especially after that, we are investing into cybersecurity very seriously. And at the same time, we can see that this is really giving back. There has been only very little and non-important success. For example, in 2020, there was a cyber attack against Estonia, which was a little bit successful, nothing seriously damaged. But we found out together with our allies that this was organized by Russian government.
What does this attack consist in?
They could get some of the official documents from the Ministry of Economic Affairs. So they could get into one corner, but all the protection of personal data of people in the government systems has been fully protected.
Mm-hmm. And more on the personal side, how stressful has it been for you to bear the brunt of this mandate in this context?
I would say it's a very good positive stress because I rarely see how artificial intelligence, how the technological possibilities are already so much around us. So we have to find ways how to use the good side of it. But at the same time, having said that, how can we avoid the negative impacts? But at the same time, we know that the bad guys are using the same technological possibilities as well. So we literally have to deal with all this. And the positive thing is that we can do amazing things for people together with the technological possibilities.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned about how bad guys use AI, and it's true that we've seen how social media has been flooded by deepfakes. Do you ever feel frustrated that as a government official, of course, the type of AI that you use has to go through scrupulous legal procedures and has to be very policed in a sense?
I'm a little bit concerned whether the European Union AI regulation is the tool that enables companies to offer growth and better products. I'm afraid because some of the wordings are so broad, so much about compromises, that it might happen that the European Court gives very different solutions how it actually should be implemented. And that would be very dangerous for our companies, for our workplaces in the whole Europe, but also for the products we as Europeans can use. Because if there is no clarity, it's very hard for companies to really offer the new possibilities.
Mm-hmm. precisely on this, do you think that Brussels has teeth when it comes to regulation? I mean, I'm thinking of Romania, where the elections was canceled amid allegations of Russian meddling. In that case, the commission took days to react and then asked TikTok to freeze election content, but did not start its own investigation into the matter.
This is a very serious topic because if somebody changes the result of the election, it is a threat against our democratic values and against our democracy. We have to do something against it. But at the same time, everybody among us has a responsibility.
Yeah, but surely our defense beyond education of individuals has to be structural. So what do you see in terms of the bigger picture? Do you believe, for instance, in the democracy shield that von der Leyen has declared as one of her priorities? Do you think there's anything else that you should be doing?
The democracy shield is extremely important because, again, that is about protecting our basic values. What I'm afraid of is that no regulation can be totally 100% securing that no bad guy would get through. So at the same time, while we are building this democracy shield, we also have to understand and find ways how to raise the knowledge of everybody who is in the society to stand against this falsified information or manipulations. Because understanding manipulative manner of sharing information, it is very hard. So we need a new way of organizing our societies to help each other to find out these manipulations.
And on this, do you find that being in a digital state and as a citizen having to interface with the internet maybe way more than in other countries helps with reading the news in a more informed way? What is the rate of digital literacy in Estonia?
Of course, it could be always better, but the level is satisfactory, I would say, because we have been used with information attacks from Russian side and how Russia tries to manipulate our people, not only our people, but all Europeans, with all kind of stories and so-called legends, etc. So there is a kind of understanding what might go wrong. But at the same time, the propaganda budget for Russia is bigger than the whole Estonian state budget.
How expensive is it?
We are talking about billions and billions here. They are investing so much. It's a hybrid war. It's a hybrid war against the values we have in Europe. It's a hybrid war between autocratic world and democratic world. It's a hybrid war between two totally different sets of values. And if we want that our values will prevail and that our values will stand and that we can go on with our freedoms that we are used to, with our liberties that we are used to, we really have to turn attention to this misinformation and the need for protection our people, especially children or elderly people, against the manipulations from media, social media, whatever forms, actually.
And is this something that you think of day to day? Is this something that keeps you up at night?
Yeah, actually, you have right. It keeps me up, yeah. Because I'm so old already that I have lived under the Russian occupation, and I really never, ever would like to get this back. So for societies who have enjoyed freedom for a long time, it might be hard to imagine how tragic it actually is when you are oppressed by autocracy, when you are without basic freedoms and you can't choose so many things in your life.
Can you share maybe a memory of that time that you think of that can really represent what you're talking about?
Yeah, let's start from simple things. So it was not possible to travel because people were not allowed to travel. It was not allowed to read a certain amount of books. And when you said Merry Christmas to somebody, you were thrown out from school. Easy as this.
And so do you think that because some countries...
And I'm not talking about prisons, political prisoners and all these things now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course. And when we talk about the whole European Union, do you think that the fact that some countries have been, in a way, separated from this history contribute to the fact that there hasn't been a lot of mobilization towards, solving the issue of the war in Ukraine?
I hope for the best. I'm a huge optimist, and it is very easy now to follow what happens in Ukraine and what happens in occupied territories of Ukraine. So everybody who has just a little bit of interest, what might happen if we can't protect our democracy. So please study a little bit what happens at the occupied areas in Ukraine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Giada Santana, and this was Euractiv's podcast, Today in the EU. Visit Euractiv to stay on top of the latest news and sign up for our newsletters. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite streaming platform. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a review. It will really help us spreading the word about our work. Sound engineering by Miriam Sanz de Tejada. Research and production by Charles Cohen. See you tomorrow. As part of our commitment to accuracy, inclusion, and transparency, Euractiv is part of the Trust Project.